Hi, everyone. Patty, my chief political advisor, he will see behind me, wanted me to give everyone the sort of behind the scenes view and a couple of tidbits of what it was like to record the audiobook, which I just finished recording yesterday. In the audiobook version of You Shouldn't Have to Kill to Get Ahead, Reimagining Wealth, Power, and Belonging in America, it's going to be about 10 hours, a little over 10 hours when it's all edited up. To record that, it took about 25, 30 hours of actually sitting in a booth recording time. Why so long? Well, you're recording with absolutely professional equipment and you have to read it sort of painfully slow, add in a whole bunch of really long gaps so the editors can edit as they need. And the way that you write to be read is different than the way that you should speak to be heard. And so you're sitting there reading your own book, and every time you slightly mispronunciate a couple words, the director will stop you, have you restart. Every time that you say the instead of a, even though it might sound better, you start and make a decision whether or not you want to keep that or do the way it was written. Every time your stomach makes a little noise, every time someone in the studio next door makes a noise, you always have to restart. And so pretty much it felt like every third sentence or so, I was restarting. And that is a painful exercise, but one that I think is worth taking. And so I kind of want to go through this in 3 kind of pro tips I would leave for you or leave for myself if I ever would go do this again. The first is knowing what I know now of how much you have to restart, how much patience you need. Find a audiobook recording team that 1, likes your book, and 2, are really fun to be around because you're going to be hanging out with them for basically an entire work week. I got really fortunate in that my publisher had a good relationship with a audiobook recording company who were absolutely amazing. But when you're sitting there and you're just tired of rereading your own book out loud, you're tired of hearing your own voice, which I get. It's nice for the director to not just be giving you directorial advice, but it's also nice when they're like, oh, what's coming up? Because they typically don't read the full book before you're recording. And when they're into it, it's a lot easier to keep going. So that's the first point. Find a team that you want to work with. The second point is this. Whether or not you should read your own book, I think depends on what your book is like. If it's a fiction book, that is just a really good story, hiring a voice actor is probably the way to go. There's a lot that goes into it to make it sound really, really, really good. And it was a huge learning curve. However, if you're writing a book and you're trying to be an authority and trying to get people to accept what you're saying and have you be recognized in whatever industry as the person people want to come and talk to, you need to get them used to hearing your voice. And so even with the learning curve, it's not so steep that you can't figure it out. And so definitely read your own book if you're in that camp. And I wish I would have practiced a bit more. It sounds silly, but it's actually good. And I did a little bit of this. I just wish I would have done more. Pull up your chapters in your book, start reading it, record it on your phone, and just hear what it sounds like. Your ultimate recording booth is going to sound better than what you'll hear on the phone because of the quality of the microphone and whatnot. But for pacing, for how choppy it sounds, for how long-winded some of your sentences are, and how to get through those while making it sound smooth, are all things that get better with more practice. And so practice before you get there is the second point. And the third point, have fun with it. There's really no truly set rules. And so when you're in the audio booth, one of the advices or pieces of advice that my director kept giving me over and over and over again is sound more excited or sound more like an inner thought or sound more disgruntled. Because at the end of the day, most of what we communicate is not through the words we choose. It's through the tone, through the body language. And when you're doing an audiobook, you don't have body language, but you do have tone. You have emotion in your voice. And in order to get that through in the recording, you kind of have to play it up a bit. And so that circles back to point number 1, have a good director, have a good team who's willing to give you that advice. But point number 3 is really have some fun with it, let loose. And when you get there in the studio, it's a really confined space. The mic's right in your face, the iPad's right there. It could feel a little intimidating and takes a little time to get used to your surroundings to feel comfortable in hamming it up a bit. But going back and listening to some of the later chapters where I was more comfortable versus the early chapters, it makes a difference. So don't be afraid to ham it up a bit. So those are my 3 points. Find a great team, practice before you get there, and ham it up a bit. And the last point, the bonus point I'll give you is this. When you're scheduling time to record your audiobook, schedule time to be alone. You're going to be speaking so much in recording it that I found myself not wanting to talk to anyone after. I didn't want to be reading anything after. And so just having space, blocking it out my calendar, not having other work meetings, not having family and friends obligations while you're in the middle of recording your book is definitely the way to go to protect your voice, to be able to have enough energy to start the next day. So that's it. You can do it. I hope you do it. And that's a little bit of what it's like behind the scenes recording an audiobook. Thanks. Bye. If you haven't yet, please click like on this video, drop a comment below, and click that subscribe button. It'll help the YouTube algorithm make sure that these videos are getting into your feed. Thank you.